What if everything you've been told about growing food is backwards? People think you need big land, big trees, and years of waiting just to grow real food. But the truth is the exact opposite. Some of the most powerful food-producing plants on Earth are so small, you could grow them in a bucket. And while most people are busy planting fruit trees and waiting 5 years for results, smart gardeners are harvesting food in months, sometimes every single week, from plants that never seem to stop producing. Today, I'm going to show you 10 of them. And, trust me, 6 on this list can produce hundreds of individual fruits from a single plant in one season. If you care about growing more food with less space, less money, and less effort, hit that subscribe button. Let's get into it. 1. Raspberries, the vertical yield machine. Raspberries figured out what many gardeners haven't. Grow up, not out. Their fruit grows on tall, slender canes, allowing you to pack them into tight rows and harvest enormous yields from narrow strips of land. They have 2 types of canes, primo canes, which grow the first year, and floricans, which fruit the second year. Once you understand this 2-year cycle, managing a patch is simple. Cut out spent canes after harvest, and let the new ones grow behind them. Planting both summer-bearing and fall-bearing varieties can extend your harvest from midsummer all the way to the first frost. Plant bare root canes in spring, and within 18 months, you'll already be harvesting meaningful quantities, something no fruit tree can match in speed. Though thorny and intimidating at first glance, raspberries reward anyone who spends 10 minutes learning how they grow. They're a plant that thinks ahead, and if you work with it, it rewards you exponentially. 2. Blackberries, the unstoppable producer. If raspberries are the polished, well-behaved cousin, blackberries are the ones that show up and take over the neighborhood. Aggressively productive, a mature blackberry bush can easily yield 2 to 3 pounds per plant annually, with established plants often giving much more. The cane tips root wherever they touch the ground, and the plants grow in poor soil. They don't demand constant attention and fruit heavily even in partial shade, conditions where most food plants struggle. Modern thornless varieties like Triple Crown and Chester remove the main objection most people had to blackberries: no more scratched arms during harvest. Blackberries ask almost nothing from you and give back enormously. They were avoided in home gardens because wild types are considered weeds, but managed thornless varieties with contained roots are completely different. They're the perfect example of a set-it-and-forget-it productive food plant. 3. Currants, the forgotten superfood hedge. Currants, both red and black, are nearly forgotten, but they're incredibly productive. Within a few years, they produce heavy fruit crops, tolerate partial shade, resist most diseases, and require minimal maintenance. Black currants, in particular, are nutritional powerhouses, packing far more vitamin C than oranges. One bush can yield 4 to 10 pounds annually from a tiny footprint, perfect for a productive hedge or food wall. Currants were once banned in parts of the U.S. to protect white pine trees, and the memory of them vanished. Today, they're a hidden gem for gardeners seeking high yields, nutrition, and resilience. 4. Strawberries, the self-multiplying superplant. A single strawberry plant can produce around 3 pounds of fruit per season, but the real magic isn't just in the harvest. It's in how the plant spreads. Strawberries send out runners, long, thin stems that root themselves and grow into brand new plants automatically. One plant becomes 5 becomes 25, and before you know it, you have a small army of fruiting plants in your garden. Unlike fruit trees, which can take years before giving a meaningful harvest, strawberries start producing within months, while simultaneously expanding your garden. June-bearing varieties give one large harvest, ideal for preserving or freezing, while ever-bearing types provide a steady stream of smaller crops throughout the season. Strawberries are often overlooked because they're so common. But when you look at the numbers, fast fruiting, automatic spread, and high yield, they're a powerhouse. They're not just delicious treats, they're a strategic choice for anyone wanting maximum food production in minimal space. 5. Blueberries, the patient reward. Blueberries demand patience, but when that patience pays off, it's extraordinary. A mature bush, after 5 to 7 years, can produce 10 to 20 pounds of berries annually from a shrub that might only be 4 feet tall and 3 feet wide. Compare that to an apple tree that produces 40 to 60 pounds but requires a 10-foot canopy radius, and blueberries suddenly look incredibly space-efficient. The trick is soil. Blueberries need acidic conditions, pH 4.5 to 5.5, which often means raised beds or amendments. Plant at least 2 varieties for cross-pollination and mix early, mid, and late types to extend your harvest over 6 to 8 weeks. Blueberries were skipped by many because they take time and care to establish, but the ones who persisted now enjoy self-sustaining patches that feed their families every summer. They teach gardeners the value of patience over quick wins. 6. Lingonberries, the evergreen berry machine. Tiny but mighty, lingonberries produce remarkable yields when planted as ground cover. Originating in Scandinavia and subarctic regions, these 6 to 12-inch evergreen shrubs produce bright red berries in late summer, often again in the fall. Cold-hardy and low-maintenance, they thrive in acidic soils and slowly spread to fill the space you give them. Lingonberries are tart, complex, and perfect for jams, sauces, or savory dishes. Often overlooked in American gardens, they're a secret crop that rewards gardeners who pay attention. 7. Aronia, chokeberries, the superfood shrub. Aronia shrubs produce massive clusters of berries, drooping under the weight at peak ripeness. A single bush can yield 15 to 30 pounds annually. Cold-hardy, drought-tolerant, disease-resistant, and nearly maintenance-free, Aronia thrives where other fruits fail. Fresh, the berries are astringent, but cooked, juiced, or dried, they're delicious and packed with antioxidants. Often planted as ornamental shrubs, they hide extraordinary edible potential right in plain sight. Massive yields from a plant practically growing itself. 8. Gooseberries, compact, high-yield wonders. Gooseberries are currant's equally forgotten cousins. Small and compact, these bushes produce 5 to 10 pounds of fruit annually, with berries hanging along every branch. A perfectly ripe gooseberry, warm from the sun, bursts with a balance of sweet and tart flavors few have experienced. They tolerate heavy clay soils, partial shade, and harsh winters. Like currants, gooseberries were almost lost to American gardeners due to disease fears and supermarket culture, but they thrive with minimal care year after year. They're a garden fruit meant to be enjoyed fresh, not shipped, and that's exactly their strength. 9. Sea buckthorn, the orange gold. Compact sea buckthorn varieties are extraordinary producers. Berries grow densely along the stems, bending branches under their weight. Rich in vitamin C and omega fatty acids, the berries can be juiced, turned into syrups, or preserved. Plant a male for pollination and multiple females, and you'll harvest exceptional quantities from a small footprint. Sea buckthorn has been a staple in Siberia and Central Asia for centuries, but remains rare in American gardens. Now, early adopters are quietly harvesting buckets of orange gold every fall, nutrient-dense, high-yield fruit from plants most of their neighbors walk past without noticing. 10. Honeyberries, the first fruit of spring. Honeyberries, also known as haskap, solve a problem many gardeners don't realize exists: early season fresh fruit. They ripen before strawberries, cherries, or almost anything else in the garden. Cold-hardy to below -40 degrees, they thrive in climates where other berries fail. The fruit is deep blue-purple, with a flavor that's part blueberry, part raspberry, and slightly floral. Plant 2 or more varieties for cross-pollination, and these low-maintenance bushes will reward you for decades. Honeyberries are largely unknown in mainstream gardening, but early adopters in northern climates are now enjoying some of the earliest, most reliable fruit in their regions. Now you can see you don't need a huge garden to grow a lot of food. Sometimes, the smallest plants give you the biggest results. If you found this helpful, hit like and subscribe for more videos like this. And tell me in the comments, Which plant are you going to grow first? I'll see you in the next one.